Hi people, morning away from back here again as always and as usual. This is going to be a quick video that I'm going to do on the Ascendant and the Midheaven. So another astrology video. I'm feeling kind of lazy, don't feel like getting up. Point one, point two, ignore the music in the background. I'm just playing music in the background for the sake of just chilling. I'm chillaxing right now. Anyways, if you have a problem with it, then you're out of luck, literally out of luck. Yeah, let's start off with the Ascendant first. The Ascendant, both are very important in astrology, especially in natal readings when you're born. Generally speaking, the quote unquote best people are born near the Ascendant. So when the day begins, regardless of where in the world you were born, or midheaven, so the middle of the day, when the sun is at its highest point in the sky, so around 12 p.m., including yours truly. I was born at 1:25 p.m., so 5 minutes short of an hour and a half after the sun was at its highest point in the sky. And yeah, based on my own knowledge and experience as an astrologer, out of the hundreds of charts I've cast of people, their birth charts, so their natal charts, I have seen, you know, I've seen that essentially the best people or people that were truly exceptional, not all of them, but a good deal of them, a noticeable amount of them, were born around that point. Around, for example, if the sun came up globally at 6 a.m., of course, not literally, but in a matter of speaking, they were born around that time or they were born around 12 p.m., so around noon. Either, so again, either at midday or at the beginning of the day, or adversely at the end of the day, or when the day essentially when how should I put this, when or at midnight, let's just put it that way, so vice versa. But in all honesty, the latter, when it comes to people that were born around when the sun around sundown or sunset, I mean when the sun went down, or around midnight, in all honesty, sometimes I've noticed that especially people that were born around sunset, they have a tendency to have skewed personalities, or essentially personalities that have a substantial amount of negativity in the way of not necessarily them being bad people, but them having very paradoxical personalities essentially. uh, People that simply jump easily from left to right, people that have like ultra bipolar personalities. Worst case scenario, they can be people that are outright not bad, but not exactly well known, like more notorious. Yeah. So that's simply something to keep in mind. Um, in any case, the ascendant and midheaven are very important. Okay, that's why in any chart in astrology, ascendant and midheaven, they count for a substantial. They add a substantial amount of weight and leverage to a reading, not just to a birth reading or a birth chart. So not just to a natal reading. Um, I mean, yeah. What else can I say? The ascendant simply carries out a substantial influence as the ruler of the first house. It rules over the house of Aries, and it generally speaking stands for willpower, strength, and it takes up a good chunk of your personality and natal readings. And midheaven essentially rules the 10th house, so the house that Capricorn rules over, and it essentially stands for your level of prominence, your level of how your career will look like, or any kind of undertaking that you'll take part in, or anything that you'll want to go for, anything that will add prominence, and you being an authority figure, you being the strongest, the most knowledgeable, the most well known. That's the difference. Um, an example for me, for example, is that the ascendant was in Capricorn when I was born. That's one of the reasons that I'm so authoritative in terms of dealings and the things I'm skilled at, and cold in general. I'm like a boss in charge of proceedings. I'm naturally skilled at things I do. And midheaven was in Libra when I was born. That's also a substantial reason why I'm so handsome, so good looking, and it adds to my already strong Libra influence. The Sun, Mercury, and Midheaven were in Libra when I was born. But yeah, Midheaven being there stands for the fact that I'm essentially a balanced ruler. Let's just put it that way. In terms of what I deal with, my accomplishments, and my career overall, and level of prominence, I'm balanced in the sense that I'm not unfair in general. I insist on equal rights for all, a refinement, etc. I've refined my craft. It just goes on. So those are examples. Okay. Last but not least, Pluto was in the 10th house when I was born in Scorpio, which stands for my incredibly strong drive to accomplish goals and willpower and determination. But that's just to let you know what the Ascendant and the Midheaven are about in general, and why they're essentially outstanding in terms of, or in comparison to the rest of how a natal chart is to be read, or how any astrological chart is to be read. Like I said, if you see, for example, someone that was born, someone that was born around the aforementioned, either when the day began or around noon, or the opposite, sunset, or thingy, or midnight. And especially there's a cluster of planets when they were born. Like, for example, the Sun, Pluto, Venus, and Mars were all in, for example, Sagittarius when they were born. Then yeah, that person will be not necessarily well known, but it will be someone with an outstanding and exceptional personality, because those kind of things are rare in general. When a cluster of planets are like so close to each other, especially when they're like near midheaven or near the ascendant, or vice versa, then it's generally speaking, yeah, it's like, oh boy, the person's going to be one hell of a doozy. The person is going to be like an exceptional character, an exceptional figure. The person will either be that, or will have an exceptional personality about them. Because when that cluster shows up in conjunction with the Ascendant or Midheaven, or vice versa, the Descendant or the Nadir. By the way, the Nadir simply stands for the point that opposes Midheaven, and the Descendant opposes the Ascendant. That's it. All you need to remember: Ascendant, Midheaven, Descendant, and Nadir. Nadir is spelled Nadir. Ascendant is abbreviated ASC. Midheaven is abbreviated MC. Descendant is the abbreviated DSC. And the Nadir is abbreviated. Let me see. I think IR, but I'm not sure. Okay, IR, I think. If not, then just simply look it up. Okay, but all you need to remember is the Nadir, Nadir. So yeah, that's essentially it. Obviously, the Nadir and the Descendant. The Descendant rules the 7th house, the house that opposes the 1st house, and the Nadir opposes the 10th house, so it rules over the 1st house. The 4th house, sorry. The 4th house, the house that deals with the household in general and all the other stuff that Cancer rules over. And with the Nadir, with the Descendant, it's Libra. The house that Libra rules over, so relationships of any kind, and refinement and peace and all of that stuff. Let me see if there's anything else, anything I forgot. Yeah, no, that's essentially it, really. Can't really come up with anything else. No. So like I said, last but not least, someone with a planetary cluster like 3-4 planets, right next to the Ascendant, or overlapping the Ascendant or Midheaven, oh boy, that person will be truly exceptional, truly strong personality. Or the opposite, a truly weak personality, but the person will have something happen to them that is, or will be a person that is exceptional compared to the masses. That's all, guys. Bye.